Welcome, Aries. This is your weekly focus for the week of September the 2nd. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Let's get right to the cards and find out what they will reveal for us this week. And our underlying energy is the Queen of Pentacles. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here. Well, the Queen of Pentacles, first of all, is a very frugal kind of energy. So we need to mind our spending this week. We need to pay attention to what we are spending on. Does it have value? Does it bring in value to our lives? Or are we trying to impress with our money or buy some kind of affection or some kind of acceptance? Are we trying to bring in some kind of happiness that we feel an object will fill the hole, so to speak? So be careful. You know, I'm kind of getting this caution with this card where I normally don't get caution. She usually is a queen that also thinks about how she can move forward, meet her goals, meets her obligations, meets her responsibilities, grows her wealth, grows her abundance, grows her prosperity, grows her love by doing the practical things, by being grounded, by paying attention in the relationships, by uh, working with others and collaborating and listening to other people's ideas, and in order to inspire you to have new ideas, to allow your thoughts to grow. So let's see what else we get, because that was kind of I got a weird sort of stop, think about what you're doing with this kind of energy coming in right away for you. Well, let's see here. Look at this now. We have the Empress. So what do you want to create? What do you want to give birth to? What do you want to invent? What do you want to, this is about love. This is about creation. This is about your own creativity, your own inner expression. And so you will thrive if you tap into those things this week. Absolutely. So embrace the new in your life, create the new in your life, invent the new in your life. Start thinking about what you want to give birth to, what you want to create. I would have to say that you are, there's this creativity with you, and it could just be within your voice. It could be, I kind of got that team play kind of energy. And I think by playing off others and throwing ideas against the wall, and you actually come up with some brand new and wonderful ideas in order to move forward. Now, that could be in a relationship, that could be in work and career, that could be in other areas of your life. We have the Hermit. So the Hermit is one that sits there and, goes into the desert, goes into the cave. It sits there in quiet contemplation, understands where they are, what they have accomplished to this point in time, what they have to work with. And it's then that they start to go in search of the new beginnings, the new starts, the new path forwards. So we could be mapping out an idea here. We could be thinking about what we really have to work with in our world. We have very strong cards so far, don't we? And I'm almost thinking that this is a prosperity kind of reading for you over a love kind of reading, but we'll see what happens here. We have the Strength card. So this is about walking with a sense of integrity. So we don't want to exaggerate. We don't want to exaggerate things this week. We want to really remain on point. We want to keep our integrity intact. So even those white lies will count. It's a time to be very courageous with your voice, perhaps, and allowing your ideas to flood the arena is what I'm hearing. This could be also a new way of actually approaching your entire life, or a certain part of your life where you're changing things. People will say, well, you never did that before. What makes you want to do that now? but it's in the terms of good changes in your life. So maybe you're looking at changing your exercise routine, or changing your eating habits or your sleeping habits. Maybe you're trying to infuse the home with some kind of new positive energy. Or maybe there's some action happening that you want to entice. Maybe it's in the workplace. Overriding this energy is the Chariot. So this is another pullback energy, just like the Hermit is, telling us to think things through, waiting until we have all the information to really make that move. So we don't want to rush decisions, but on the other hand, we don't want to procrastinate either. We want to go in search of the light, so to speak. We want to clear the fog, clear the, bring in the clarity by maybe asking the questions or doing the research, getting more information so that you can make a more decisive decision about how to go forward that strengthens you overall. Cradling this information is the Seven of Swords. This could be, allowing other people's emotions cloud your emotions. They start getting angry, so you return with anger. It's like you're mirroring them instead of acting on your own accord. They get under your skin a little easier, or you tend to, yeah. So watch yourself with your patience this week. Okay, we don't want to overreact. We don't want to get ourselves involved with heated arguments. We don't want to have to say, well, I'm doing it because. I don't think there's any reason for you to need to explain yourself here, unless it's open communication and trying to let other people into the bigger picture of who you are becoming. But I don't think if somebody calls you out that you really need to answer that call, that you just need to go forward doing what you do naturally, with a sense of surety, with a sense of knowledge and courage and wisdom. That you're not trying to harm anybody, therefore you have no reason to, it's almost like you're standing up for yourself, or you're, and don't overly trust the agenda of others. Okay, they say they're there for a certain reason, but they could be there to undermine you, to take away your glory, steal your thunder, so to speak. And this is also a card that I would have to say, with the Hermit right above it, that we have to understand what we really need to take forward with us, that some things have to change, whether it's a habit, a behavior, where you live, where you work. But there's certain things that need to change, and that. There's certain things that need to be left in the past, and that, in order for you to move forward in new directions and new ways. So this could be some kind of separation from something that you have been carrying with you, good, bad, or ugly. It doesn't really matter. It could be, but it's something that you feel is pulling you down. It's something that does not allow you to move forward in the way that you want to. As we start off the week, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is kind of like a no man's card, our no man's land card for me. We've been going down our path. We dismount from our stallion and we stop. And we think about, well, what did I accomplish so far? And this is kind of how you come into the week. What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to give birth to? What do I already have to work with that will move me forward? And how do I present this to people so that they trust me, they buy into it easily, that they allow me some kind of, I hear artistic freedom. Maybe it's in your voice, maybe it's in your action, maybe it's you creating something. So there's three parts really to this card and its energy. And the first part is looking back on our successes. The second is appreciating the here and now, which is very much what we do with the Hermit card as well. We look at the here and now, and we are very realistic about what we already have to work with. But we also, with this card, ask for the new beginnings, for the straight path, for the protection, for the love, for the clarity, for the understanding, for the knowledge to come in. So that when we step into the creation, when we step into the invention. We have this clarity, we have this guiding light, the guiding light of the hermit, right? Leading the way. And as we leave the week, we have the King of Wands. So you're going to feel, I think you really get an idea of what you were doing and you start to get some kind of momentum going. There's some kind of energy that is pushing you forward, that is allowing you to embrace what you're starting and to take off with just that piece, that you don't need a whole bunch more right now in order to really get things off the ground or get things moving in the direction that you really want it to. For work and career, we have the star, for goodness sakes. So this is making the impossible possible. So yeah, there's some kind of creativity here. Be careful of who you share your ideas with, for they may steal it out from under you. Very much like my elevator story. It's Monday morning. You're in the elevator with a buddy. You're going up to the 5th floor where you work. You say, hey, I had this great idea on how to increase productivity in the shop. You go on to start to explain it. Your buddy's nodding approval. And yeah, that's a great idea. Oh my goodness. This is like, oh, like lightning has struck. This is incredible. And you say, yep, I'm going to go to the washroom, but I'll meet you in the shop. And I'm going to tell the boss first thing. And by the time you get into the shop, you see your buddy shaking hands with the boss, for they just sold your idea out from under you. So be careful of those kinds of energies. But this is making the impossible possible. This is a dream or a desire or a want that you've always, deep down had a passion for, or a desire, a goal. And for some reason you felt like you couldn't go forward. And this is actually a time when the doors will open. Even if you think it's impossible right now, maybe your company has said, okay, we're putting a hiring freeze on here. Nobody's getting promoted. But, somehow that promotion still lands on your desk. You start to move forward. And it could just be understanding what you really do have to work with, and then being able to break through those barriers in a way that no other person is thinking. When it comes to love and relationships, we have the 6 of Cups. This could actually be somebody from your past coming back into your life. Absolutely. Remember why they're an ex, if that's the case. Maybe they're coming in to remind you of a lesson learned, of something that you've walked through before, where you thought you shouldn't, or you couldn't, or you mustn't, and you found out through that relationship that you actually can, and you can do it quite successfully. So this is, I think something's coming in to remind you about how beautiful and powerful you are as a person within a relationship. This is about creating healthy, strong bonds within the relationship. Absolutely. And yes, we want to hold back. We don't want to overreact. We don't want to have disputes over what we're thinking about, maybe some kind of changes we want within the home, or some kind of positive action or direction maybe within the relationship, to listen to them, to pull it back, to think it through, to enter it more on a wiser level. Like you have wisdom all around you here, so tap into that wisdom rather than the emotion. And be careful about compromising yourself, giving a part of yourself away in order to get that little win or get that little gain within the relationship. I think if you go the longer way, the harder way, it's more of a win-win, and it's more of a successful relationship because of it. Okay, so yes, we could be deepening bonds. There could be absolutely somebody brand new coming into your life, if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking at extending the family, there could be a pregnancy during this time, absolutely, or somebody new coming into the family nest, so to speak, the family atmosphere in some way. And I think that you are looking at how to grow this relationship with a harmony, with a beauty, with a great love, and deepening that love, and growing the harmony and the beauty within the relationship this week. I don't think that you're avoiding the relationship. In fact, you shouldn't avoid the relationship this week. You should be putting your heart into the relationship and understanding how you can grow it more successfully. And we have the Fool. So, oh my goodness. So, this is a week where we're going to take it's a little bit slower, but we have the Fool here, touching the Star, touching the Hermit, touching the Empress, touching the Chair. My goodness. Hello, this is beautiful because if you just take your time and go with the flow, don't try and push the energy this week, but rather set yourself up for successes. Know what your next steps are going to be. Kind of plot out your planning for how you're going to go from this step to this step to this step. You know, maybe it is, well, first I have to get myself into corporate so I can just accidentally run into the people that make the decisions on about who gets hired and who gets fired and who can give the promotions right now, even though there's no promotions because there's that firing or that hiring freeze going on, right? And you find a way in. It's more about the plotting and the observing and the understanding and really thinking, you know, what habits do I need to change? What behaviors do I need to adopt in order to really put myself out front and center in order to push myself into new beginnings. This could also be something that you are inventing from your mind. So this could be a home-based business, opening up your own business, going in partnership within a business as well, because I was getting that teamwork and partnership in here. And so that could play out as you're having a cocktail with a friend, and all of a sudden you've got a business module kind of in place without, just chit-chatting and throwing ideas against each other. And all of a sudden, something that was a very fictional, just kind of a way to spend time turns into the plot of how you were going to go forward to actually bring that into life. Okay, so yeah, there could be definitely a lot of changes happening for you this week, Aries, and it's great changes. Look towards embracing new ideas, new routines, new people in your life during this week. Look for look at your habits, look at your behaviors, look at your routines. How can you change that so that you become more dynamic through those experiences? I would definitely tell you to look there. We have some kind of brand new opportunity on the horizon for you, but I think that a lot of it comes from your own ideas or your heart or your intuition or your sage wisdom or a little bit of everything thrown in together. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.